All right, I'm back from the machine, and as you can see faintly, the stitching tacking down the zipper on both sides of the plastic coil. Now what I'm going to do at this point is turn the hoop over to the back side, take a piece of what I'm going to use as lining, and I'm going to, you can see this would be the bottom of the bag. This is the top of the bag where the zipper is on the other side of here. I'm going to take and put my piece of lining maybe a 1/4 inch past this bottom line. So let me do that. Okay, then I'm going to just kind of lift it like this, just lift it and let it fall over to the front side. So now I'm looking at the front side. Well, yeah, it didn't. So I'm just going to take and fold this over several times and tape it on this little ledge here. So this is always a most difficult part of making these, is this little step right here. So I at least had the sense to have a piece of tape cut for once. So I'm taping that down. And then I'm going to take the first piece of exterior fabric, which is some red fabric I'm using. And the red fabric will be the this will be the background, you might say, not the main focus of the this will not be the applique piece. This will be the background piece. So let me tape this down. Then I'm going to take it back to the machine, and these front and back pieces will be tacked down also. So I'll be right back. Okay, as you can see, I have taped my zipper down, and I'm going to take this to the machine and do step 2, which will tack the zipper down. And I might mention, I'm not going to go through the different pieces you need to make this, because all of that is outlined in the directions that I have provided. So let me take this to the machine and tack this down. Be right back. Good morning, friends. Today I'm going to be making the Decagon bag, and I wanted to also tell you that I have prepared a 5-page set of general instructions for making my bags. All of these bags, I follow the same recipe. They will be made the same way, so if you make one, you should be able to make all of them. And so please, it is located when you enter my group. You should see the post about it. Please download it, and I would suggest you print it, and when you are looking at this video, that you have it with you and you can make notes along with the video, because it's hard to explain these concepts, some of them in the notes, but hopefully this video will fill in the blanks. So anyhow, as I said, this is the Decagon bag that I'll be preparing, and I have already used or sewn out step 1, and step 1 is just a general outline of the bag and showing the lines for the placement of the zipper. And so you want to take your zipper and place it right, the coil part, the plastic part, right between these two lines So that's what I'm going to stop the camera and do right now, and I'll be back shortly. Okay, I'm back from the embroidery machine, and as you can see, this has been tacked down, and of course tacking the back piece of lining fabric down at the same time. And I just want to show you, this is one of the Decagon bags I've done in the past. And the first piece that you put down, which in this case I'm doing now, is the red piece of fabric. That corresponds with this piece of beige fabric. So just remember what you're putting down first will be, I call this the background, kind of. So just wanted to add that little note there. And now I'm going to, back here on the bag I'm making, I'm going to take and put a piece of what I'm using as batting, about a 1/4 inch underneath where the seam is here. And then I'm going to take the fabric and I'm going to fold it over on top of the batting, smooth it down, and then I'm going to take it to the iron, which I will do. I'll walk right there. It's coming apart. Let me see. Okay, I'm going to take and make it nice and as taut as I can, and take my iron and give it a good press so it will lay nice and flat and just look nice with a nice crease at the top there by the zipper. So I'm going to go to the sewing machine now, and embroidery machine, and the next step will sew all of this down basically along the bottom of the zipper and all the way around the exterior of the fabric here with the batting underneath. So let me do that and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, and you can see that now this has been sewn down all around the 4 sides right underneath the zipper. And the next thing that will be sewn, the next step will be the placement for the Decagon, the 10-sided area here in the center. So let me go and do that, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, and you can see that this outline has outlined where the I will place the next piece of fabric. And so let me reach over and grab it, and we're doing chickens today. And actually, I think I cut this fabric the wrong way. Let me see, this white chicken appears to be. Let me see if I can get him in the center. Well, let me put the camera down and see if I can try to get him in the center, and I'll be right back. Okay, I think I've got him where he will be placed in the center, and I'm actually, since I've turned this such an odd direction because I cut the fabric wrong, but I'm going to put a piece of tape here just to hold it in place while I walk over to the sewing machine. So let me do that, and the next step will tack down this top fabric here, the applique fabric, so I'll be right back. Well, I'm back, and you can see that the chicken does fall right kind of in the center of this, and boy, did I get awfully close. I mean, I'm going to trim this back right to the seam, but on this side there's not much to trim. So anyhow, I'm going to take this to my kitchen bar and sit there and with my applique pair of scissors trim this right down to the seam line here, right down to the stitch line. So I'll be back in a moment. All right. Well, on camera. All right, I have trimmed Mr. Rooster down, and so the next step is to take it to the embroidery machine, and the satin stitch will be put right along the edge here and should cover up all these raw edges and hopefully look very nice. So let me do that right now. Be right back. Or this will take a few minutes, so I'll be back in about probably 15-20 minutes. Okay, I'm back now, and as you can see, the satin stitch has been placed right along the edge here of the chicken fabric. And now the next step will be all of the beautiful intricate quilting, and this took about 14 minutes according to my machine to do the satin stitching, and this quilting is going to take 29 minutes. So it takes a bit, but it will be worth it. So I'll be back in a few minutes. All right, I'm back, and as you can see, the beautiful quilting has been completed, and I don't know what I looked at for and said 29 minutes, but it only took about 10 minutes. Maybe 29 might have been the total for the entire design. But so the next thing we're going to do is we're finished with basically all of the applique and the quilting on the front. We're going to take this piece of tape off here, and we're going to let this lining roll back to the back. Turn your hoop over and smooth it out, and take and tape it down, because we'll go to the machine. All right, I'm going to go to the machine now, and the next step is actually a repeat of the step that did the stitching along underneath the zipper here and all around. It's just a repeat of that step that now takes and sews down the back, this piece of lining on the back of the hoop. So I'll see you just in a few minutes. All right, you can see now that this has been sewn down all around here. This is the back of the hoop we're looking at. This is the piece of lining, the first piece of lining. Anyhow, we'll turn it back over to the front, and at this point I'm going to take off this, all right, take off this piece of tape, and I'm going to open this zipper, and I'm going to, okay, I opened it maybe 2/3 of the way or so. I'm going to take my little pieces of they've made for the attachment of a crossbody bag strap, and I make these. This is made out of grosgrain ribbon with just a ring attached, and I make these little ribbons. I think they're 3/4 inch wide, maybe, and 3 inches long. So anyhow, let me attach. I'm going to attach them, oh, maybe an inch in from each side. From the side here, I'm going to attach them maybe an inch in, and I'm going to take and make sure I always staple mine together to hold them together, but this is way outside the stitch line, so I'm going to tape it here, and I'm going to tape this metal part down so that doesn't wiggle up and get into the path of your foot and cause a problem. So let me do that, and I'll be back shortly. All right, I'm back, and as you can see, I've taped these two pieces down. The zipper is mostly open. Next, I'm going to take the other exterior piece. This will be on the back of the bag. I'm going to take it and put it down, covering the entire design, making sure you cover it on all sides, and with a little bit of overhang on each side, the top, bottom, and sides. And these pieces I had cut originally for the 8x12 bag, but I'm doing the 6x10, so you can see they're very generously cut. So, and then the next thing, I'll take the piece of what I'm using as batting, and I'll place that on top of the piece of backing, and of course you did notice that I put right side down, right side. So this is the batting, and I'm going to take this to the sewing machine, and it will go around the entire exterior of the bag, putting all of this together. So hold on, I'll be right back. Okay, now I have put all of this part together, and it's sewn it all down, and now I'm turn over to the back side, turn the hoop over, and place the very last piece of this is lining. What I'm using is lining for the bag, so do the same here. Make sure you cover all 4 sides, and I'm going to take off camera, take this down, and I'll take it to the embroidery machine, and it will tack down. It will go all the way around the sides and the top. However, it will leave about an 8-inch gap here along the bottom, so I can turn the bag through there. So I will do that sewing and be back momentarily. Well, I'm here. I've just run on the embroidery machine the very last step, which was just going all the way around the top, the sides, but leaving the opening in the bottom on the other side, on the back of the hoop, leaving the opening for the turning hole. But it didn't want to sew along this one edge, so I've simply taken it to my sewing machine, and I'm going to just manually stitch right down this seam line, because this machine will go through anything. Do a tie off. I don't think I did a tie off at the beginning, unfortunately, but anyhow, I just wanted to show you sometimes things don't go the way you planned, and for some reason the embroidery machine, the Baby Localissimo, is temperamental at times, so it was today, but no harm. I got it fixed. I can't tell you how many I've done like this in the past, because sometimes things just don't want to work the way they should. Anyhow, hold on and I'll be right back. All right, I'm back to the cutting table, and I'm going to just simply take this project out of the hoop. We are finished sewing. And I'm going to, let me see, here's the back side where the, if I point the camera there, here's the back side of the hoop, or what was in the hoop, and the opening that we're going to use to turn through. So I'm going to take and generally cut from this side here, and I'm going to go leave about a 1/4 inch area from the seam line, from the stitch line. I'm going to go all the way around here, and when I come down here to the opening, I'm going to cut way out to about here, and then go along this way, and then cut back in to the other part where it's stitched together here on the side. And after I do that, I'll be back and show you what else to do. Okay, you can see that I have cut this all around the sides. I just wanted to show you, I'm going to leave this, well, I could trim this down a little bit more. It really doesn't need to be this long, but I'm going to take the rest of this, all of this bulky part and fabric that is no longer needed, and I'm going to completely cut it off right as my finger's going along, about a 1/4 inch from the bag itself. So let me cut that off and I'll be right back. All right, I have trimmed everything here, leaving just the 2 pieces of lining where I can get my hand in there, and I'm going to have to, of course, turn the camera off again because I cannot turn this obviously with one hand. It's just too difficult. So let me turn this through the bag through this hole here, and I'll be right back. Okay, I have turned it through the turning hole, and now you will see on both sides this is the lining fabric, so that's what you should see at this point. And I'm going to take and remove this paper towel area from over the zipper, which you should be able to do with your fingernail. And then I'm going to take these two pieces here and fold them in like so, like this, and fold this in. Get those all lined up nice together off camera, and I'm going to sew this along through here, sew this shut. So hold on, I'll be back. Okay, you can see that I have closed this up along the, oh, that's the top. Okay, I have closed this up along the bottom here, and now I'm going to reach in through here and turn the bag right side out, and I'll be back in a moment. Okay, I've turned the bag out, and here it is. I think it looks lovely. I think it came out very well, so I'm very pleased with it. So anyhow, I hope this has been helpful, and I hope that the instructions I've written I tried to follow along. I followed along with the video as I wrote them. So hopefully they're of some use to you also. So I will be back probably tomorrow. Thank you.